Greetings, everybody. Nina here from Beyond Truth, and welcome to our Sunday show. Tonight is going to be jam-packed. We got quite a few things that we want to go over. Everything seemed to have happened on Friday, and so we're going to get into it. But before we do, Robert, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good all the way to the moon, baby.
Yes, I know. We are going to be talking about the Artemis II that just returned yesterday, was it, I think? From their 10-day long journey. We're going to get into that. We might as well get into it right away. There's no sense wasting any time here. You guys just come on in, get settled, because like I said, this is going to be jam-packed. It's going to be fast. And so sit back and enjoy, okay? And make sure that you guys are smashing that like button when you come in. It really does help out with the algorithms. And share this out to a couple of friends. That also helps us out. So with that, so Artemis, I'm sure you all heard about it. Now, I know we talked, I think, a little bit about this, Robert, over on your show or something somewhere. We do so many shows, we forget where it is. But, when it first came out, I didn't hear about this until the day before the launch, which happened to be the day before April Fool's Day. So I automatically assumed that, okay, here we go. This is going to be the April Fool's story of the tomorrow, that kind of thing. So I didn't pay any attention to it at all. Then, of course, the April Fools came, and, again, I just thought, well, this is April Fools. I didn't look into it. It wasn't until the day after, I think, that I'm like, wait a minute, you mean this was actually real? For real? You know what I mean? Like, I never even heard about it before. Had you?
No, I did the same. It was like, all of a sudden, hey, we're going to the moon. And I'm thinking, what did I miss? Was this one of those time slips, or I jumped a timeline or something? I kept thinking to myself, because normally you would hear the run up to this. We're sending back, a number of years ago, I did hear that they were talking about going back to the moon. But remember, we did a show on that where they lost the information to go to the moon.
That's right. They did
can't get there. And
they came out and actually officially, not even joking here, officially said that they had lost all the information about how to get to the moon or whatever on some VHS tape or something. Somebody had taped over it. Like, how stupid is that? That's the actual official thing. And so, I didn't even know that there was any journey like this planned at all. Like, to me, like something like this would have to take a lot of planning. Obviously, astronauts need to go through a lot of training and all this kind of stuff. Like, it would take years.
But that's the thing. I think, remember, we were hearing a lot about Elon Musk going to Mars for 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden, in the last probably year, he said he switched. He's going to go to the moon instead. And then I kind of heard that. And then I heard, they were planning a moon mission in the future, et cetera, maybe a year or so ago. But it's been like under wraps. Like I felt like you was all of a sudden like, we're going to the moon. When did this happen?
I know.
And then I find out that they're not actually landing on the moon. They're just going to fly around it for good measure, maybe take some pictures. And I'm thinking, that's an awful lot of money to build a giant.
Like, this would take a lot of money and a lot of effort. You would think that you would promo the crap out of this for years. Like, we should be sitting there with the popcorn ready for this. You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden to do it on April Fool's Day again, like, it just seems a little weird. So right off the bat, my antennas are going up. Like, what is actually going on here? Before we even get to all the glitches and whatnot that we've seen. And I'm sure all of you have probably seen it throughout the week here about all the glitches and whatever. And we're going to go over a little bit, but we're not going to spend too much time on the Artemis, to be honest with you, because frankly, there's just so much else going on that I think we need to talk about, and it is sort of happening right now. So today is the day that we're going to get into it. Well, make sure you share this out, guys. I see there's probably a few people in here, maybe not in chat, but you're there. I can tell you're there. So make sure you share this out, guys, okay, so that we can get the algos going in our favors here. So I got a little bit of information here. I wasn't sitting there, watching this whole thing. I was just kind of waiting to see how it all went. I'm gonna do the recap, that kind of thing, because I just don't have time. But so, it looks like you're sharing something.
Well, I got some stuff. You can keep talking, put that up,
yeah.
and
okay.
We'll just go. I'll click the slides, okay?
Robert's got the visuals for you guys, okay? It's just for your entertainment's sake. So there you go. So Artemis II was NASA's first crewed Artemis mission. It was not a moon landing, of course. It was a 10-day crewed flyby around the moon and back to test the Orion spacecraft. Crew systems, navigation, communications, and re-entry before later lunar missions. So that's what this was. So maybe this is why they weren't building it up too much, because this was just a little test run apparently for the big one that's coming that I also haven't heard about. You would think if they have,
It's supposed to be now in 2028.
Oh, 2028. So, okay, there you go. I'm not up on that, I guess. So it is. So the big moon landing type of thing is coming in 28. Well, that's exciting. I'm definitely going to be watching it. So that's what this was basically a little test run, I guess, to test things out, which I guess that kind of makes sense, right? I mean, I'm not just going to jump right into the conspiracy thing right off the bat here. I mean, I'm going to give them, the benefit of the doubt, right? And look at it as an adult here and see what's going on. So okay, all right, I can see that. So maybe that's why there wasn't as much of a promotion and hoopla around it, I guess, if this was just a little test run, you know what I mean? But yeah, so what actually happened here? So NASA launched the Artemis II on April 1st, April Fools, from Kennedy Space Center. And the crew splashed down in the Pacific near San Diego on April 10th, which was on Friday. Okay. All the stories that we're going to be talking about tonight all sort of happen on Friday. So, which is really weird. For those of you who are interested, maybe you want to go and look at the astrology and see what was going on Friday. I don't know. I didn't actually get into that part of it. But for those who are into that, do that. And comment down below if was something going on Friday. I don't know. Now, who was on board here? So we have the crew was Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. Reporting on the mission note, it was historic because Koch became the first woman to fly this far toward the moon. Glover, the first Black astronaut on a lunar mission, and Hansen was the first non-American to do so. So they made sure they had well-diverse, going on up in there, because Lord knows we can't have, too many of one race or anything, that just wouldn't look good. So, all right. So what happened on the mission here? The mission launched, checked out Orion in space, flew a free return path around the moon, set a new record for the fastest human have traveled from Earth. I didn't know that. Then returned through Earth's atmosphere and splashed down safely. Associated coverage also notes that the crew got lunar and Earth view during the flyby. Now, from what I understand, from what I've seen in clips from other people, there wasn't a lot of visuals. There wasn't a lot of cool shots from the moon, and apparently there was no stars to be seen, which was kind of weird. There's a lot of weird things that I thought was weird anyways. You would think that they all had iPhones. Apparently they were given iPhones, and so they should have been able to film a whole bunch of cool stuff through the window, you would think. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not an astronaut, so what do I know, right? But so the things that people said looked off, right? So this is where the conspiracy people's ears tweaked up, because we started noticing things. The first and probably the most famous one is the floating mascot, the little toy, stuffy toy that they had floating in front of them. I'm sure Robert has probably got some visuals for you there, does he? Yeah, it looks like he's got some stuff there. I'm just checking to make sure you're even still there.
There's their mascot.
There you go. Yep. All right. So, okay, the floating mascot clip. This was the biggest conspiracy point in a viral broadcast clip. Letters appear to show through the floating zero-gravity mascot. And people said it proved green screen or studio fakery. So for those of us who do this, all the time, Robert uses green screen all the time, and you can see, little glitches with it, definitely if there's something green in it, that's not going to show up. So it's not a good idea to use anything with green if you're using green screen, right? We kind of know this, for those of us who do this, but so, and I did notice there was a green something in that, on that stuffy, on that face.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe
his hat has green on.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that would not be a good idea to be using that with a green screen. You know what I mean? So we know that. So you would think that the people that are filming this would also know this. So that is sort of one of those things that we can tell that it was a green screen.
If you really look at the picture here, you notice there's nothing that's green.
No.
Their shirt, their clothes, right. Everything is not. There's nothing but that hat that has green on it. Everything else yellow or tan
or whatever
or blue. Mm-hmm. Orange. No green. What happened to the green?
Well, that could just be a coincidence, I guess, right? Although if like they were using green screen, they would be mindful of that, not to be wearing a green shirt and whatever. But then again, why is the stuffy habit, right? So I don't know. Let's see here. We're gonna see, where did I leave home?
Well, it's a slip up.
AFP's fact check. So whoever AFP is, I don't know. Fact check says the effect came from a broadcast text overlay error in a syndicated TV feed. Now, I'm not a TV person. I don't know about all the stuff that goes on there. So I can't really say yay or nay to that. Again, you guys can comment down below if you guys maybe do know what that is. Is that something, that's valid there? AFP also cited a digital forensic expert who said the anomaly matched a failed overlay. Not fake space footage, but it's a failed overlay. Again, I'm not a technical person. I couldn't tell you yay or nay.
I don't know. I don't exactly know what an overlay is.
So I don't know. Could that, because again, like, would you really use a mascot with a green hat if you're using green screen? You would think that they would know better. You know what I mean?
Again, they probably didn't think about it. And then when they got it on there, they went, well, it's too late to replace the mascot now. Whoops.
We're up there now. Yeah, oopsie daisies. So it just, I don't know. Like I say, I'm not an expert in this, so I couldn't tell you yay or nay, but we definitely all noticed it. I've seen it all over the internet, people showing clips and how this is, this, that, and the other thing. So, I'm not here to tell one or the other. I'll leave that up to you guys or what you think. But the next sort of weird thing about this whole thing was the communication blackout. It's like, really? With all, and they all have iPhones now, like the latest iPhone, right? They're given to them, right? And all this kind of, and you still have communication blackouts, really? So I don't know. Some viewers thought loss of signal.
Here's the thing. You have an iPhone in space. Who are you calling?
I think it was more for filming. No, I think they wanted them to film outside the window. Let's see some stuff. Right? I'll be sitting there filming the whole thing, like everything, all the time. Like I wouldn't be doing anything other than that.
Which makes a lot of sense in that respect.
Yeah, you want to see out the window.
They did take some pictures, as I'm showing right here. You can see this picture, and you can see they must be taking that out the window because you can see part of the spacecraft and the moon. Showing that the moon is round, and it's still round in space. And here's part of the craft. And it's, again, from this picture, I hate to say it, it's still blurry.
It's not as good as you would think that we would get in today's age with the technology that we have. And those iPhones are pretty good. Like, you've noticed that, nobody's using GoPros anymore. Everybody's just using their iPhones, or I don't even have an iPhone, but it works really well. You know what I mean? I don't need to use the GoPro, so that to me just seems a little bit weird. Anyways, I'm just going to continue on here. Some viewers thought loss of signal meant something fake was happening. but the mission involved phases where communications were expected to be limited. And re-entry itself can involve a blackout, is what they're saying here. Coverage of splashdown specifically noted a re-entry communication blackout before landing. So they're basically saying that that's a normal thing to have the blackouts. I mean, there is a lot of power for, landing and taking off, obviously, where maybe signals could be lost. I mean, again, you know what I mean? But I just, I don't know if they actually, this footage that I got here is actually going into the fact that the blackout happened when they went on the dark side of the moon, because that was the whole idea, is to see what it looks like on the dark side of the moon, the other side of the moon that we don't get to see, and so now you have blackout.
That's what these pictures are showing, is what they went, and then the dark side of the moon is pretty much just dark and pitted and stuff like it was. But here's the thing, if you're on the dark side of the moon and it's pitch black, how are you going to see it? What picture are you going to be able to take? There's no sun on that side. You got spotlights to see it. You're just going to take a picture of blackness.
Well, don't we have flashlights though? Like, I mean, I take pictures in the dark all the time with my flash on, and it shows up just fine.
I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, it's a phone or it's whatever cameras they got. I'm just saying, is if you go into a dark room and use your phone without a flashlight on it, you're going to get a dark picture. Unless they're using infrared or something like that. I think Bonnie, she's in here. She said something about that video with the basket going down, and they never even went. And I got to thinking a lot about that. And that I think is kind of fake, because they, if they were in that basket when that rocket took off, they would have probably been killed. Because they're right by the rocket. The noise from that rocket, the blast off, all the fire and smoke as that thing is going up, they would have probably been killed in a basket, fried like chicken.
Okay. Yeah, again, I'm not an expert on the whole thing, you know what I mean? I did see that as well. I don't even think they mentioned that in here, to be honest, but I did see that footage of that basket leaving, and people saying that, no, those are meant for the crew, it's like an exit thing for the crew or something. But you have a good point there with, the amount of, fire and power that's happening there. I don't know. I don't know. But that was something weird. I wish they would actually address that, because people are noticing it, and
I think the better explanation is, if you want to get conspiracy theory, is that the rocket went up, it falls in the ocean, and, with just like we witnessed that day, it was just a couple days ago, and they just, put those pictures of them coming back down or maybe they circled the earth or something like that, and to get to the moon. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm thinking, if you're spending all this money to go around the moon, I would be dropping probes. I would be lighting up the surface. I would be doing more than, let's just see if we can go around it. I mean, if you're already there, it's like going to the gas station. You're already there. You might as well pump some gas. You might as well go in and get some food or a soda. You're already there.
I mean, if you're going to be spending that kind of money, and time and effort and everything, you would want to get as much footage as you could of that moon before you actually land again, okay, loosely. Exactly. And so that's another one of those weird things that are tweaking our ears here, because it just seems weird, and especially because they were all given these brand new iPhones, and that's why they were given that, so that they would take footage. Wouldn't you be sitting at that window the whole time? Like, I don't know. But anyways, let's move on, because I got so much to talk about in this show, and I there's no way we're going to be able to do it all in an hour. This is probably going to be a longer show, because there's just so much going on here. But anyways, let's move on here. So
Okay.
fake or mislabeled moon photos. A lot of dramatic Artemis II photos shared online were not actually from the mission. So that's another thing. That's the problem with the internet, is that we get bombarded with stuff, and and some of that they take from somewhere else. Now, PolitiFact, or whatever that is, PolitiFact, I've never heard of it, reported that some were Earth-based telescope photos or AI-generated images reposted as if it was NASA shot them from Orion. This added to the feeling that the mission looked suspicious, but it was really a social media misinformation problem. Of course, they're going to say that. Now, again, I wouldn't be, I'm torn here, because I can see it from both sides. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people wanting a lot of clicks and views, so they're going to be making a lot of stories, of course, with photos from other things, to make it look like, you know what I mean? Of course there is, but then again, they're not going to tell us the truth. So I'm torn.
So let's go with something really simple. And that is the fact that, what does Artemis mean in the first place? Do you know?
Oh, now you're getting into a whole nother thing. I wasn't even going to go there,
Oh, I was going to say, Artemis in the Greek means goddess of hunt, wilderness, and wild animals, and the moon, and chastity. The daughter of Zeus and Leto, the twin sister of Apollo. You getting these names? Apollo. Then we have Apollo mission. And, she is a principal Olympian deity, often associated with strength, independence, and protection of young girls and nature. And they did have a woman on board. So there you go, sister of Apollo. Yeah. So and we had what the moon missions named Apollo.
Yes. Yeah.
Small facts. Just small facts.
Yeah. So the fourth point here is that the Earth looked dull or strange in some shots. Some people compared newer Artemis Earth images to older Apollo era images and claimed that meant something was fake. PolitiFact, whatever that is, reported NASA said the difference came from lighting and camera processing. For example, one image was taken from Earth lit by moonlight rather than full sunlight. Again, how do we know? Because we're not taking photos up there, are we? So I couldn't tell you one or the other, but they always have, some answers, which I guess is good. Now, what can we take away here? The strongest evidence says the Artemis II was real crewed lunar flyby mission. The main off thing people pointed to was mostly the TV graphic glitched, comms blackout, and fake or miscaptioned images online rather than proof the mission was filmed in the studio. NASA's official mission summary and multiple post-mission reports are consistent on the mission basics and outcome. I don't know. That's the thing. We don't have any proof one way or the other here, or whether or not this was just done in the studio, or did they actually go? Was this an actual successful flyby the moon mission? I'll leave that up to you guys to figure that out for yourself. But
I think you have it something right. You could plug this into AI and say, create me the dark side of the moon and the Earth in the background, and it will probably produce you a picture like I'm showing you here. It's that good. It produces fake people, and you don't even know what's real anymore. So how can we, believe a lot of this stuff that's going on? We don't have the technology to look at this picture that I'm showing right now and tell you if this is AI or real.
There is ways of figuring that out. There is, I don't know how they do it, but there's programs or something where they can tell exactly how many percentage of it is, AI and whatnot. So there is that. And I'm pretty sure that all these, conspiracy channels, who know how to do that probably already done that to check to see if they can see any fakery there. And I'm sure they would have reported on it if they did. So I'll leave that up to, those who have the technology to do that. I don't obviously have that. I couldn't tell you one or the other, but the whole thing from start to finish, though, it just seems a little off to me. It just seems a little rushed. Like, why now? Why no big announcements that it was happening? And then communication breakdown, really right at the most important part of the whole mission when you went behind to the, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a little disappointing, I guess, is the
They
word.
lost their cell phone signal. They don't have towers on the backside of the moon yet.
Yeah. So I don't know. But interesting. I'm just gonna leave that there. So they came back, I guess, on Friday, okay, after being gone for 10 days. So I guess everything went okay. And let's see here. We're gonna move over now. Let's see. Should I take your thing down now, or
yes, you can.
I'll hide that. Okay. Let's see, where's the next thing we're going to go to here? This also came out on Friday. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm sure you probably already seen it. I don't think I can blow it up anymore. No, it basically, this is Donald Trump, okay, on X. He posted this on Friday morning, so the same day. World's most powerful reset. President DJT. World's and this is all caps, guys, for those who are listening. Okay, this is in all caps directly from your president on Friday morning. World's most powerful reset. What that means, you know what I mean? We don't know. But what else was happening on Friday? Well, the Bilderberg meeting. Okay. Now, normally the Bilderberg meeting happens in the summertime. I think it's only been 1 or 2 times in this whole time that they started this, that they had it this early in the year. So what's going on? But before we get to that one, I forgot one thing here. I don't think I have that up. Let's see. I'm going to share one more thing here. Sorry guys, I don't have. Take that down. I'm going to share the little video of Miss Melania. Did you guys see the latest Melania video? Which I find is hilarious. This is also, was this on Friday as well? Or if not, it was just...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Friday.
It was on Friday. So it's just so weird that everything was happening on Friday. You know what I mean? And so we'll remains to see what happens tomorrow and Monday when the stock market and everything opens up. But yeah, did you guys see this? I don't know. It is a 6-minute video. Let's just watch just a couple of things that she just says here in the beginning. Actually, let's go in the beginning here. Let's listen to it for a little bit here.
Okay.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and play the whole thing. Basically, I'm sure most of you have seen it. If not, yes, this happened on Friday. So keep in mind, okay, so going back to the whole Epstein files, right? Donald had basically said that, no, Epstein files is a hoax, nothing to see here. We're done with that whole thing, right? Brushed it off like nothing going on there. Then his wife shows up here on Friday. I don't think he was aware of this. I don't think he knew anything about this. She went behind his back, came out here, basically trying to save face. You know what I mean? trying to regain her reputation. I don't know. This is not going to help. You know what I mean? Without him even knowing. So it seems to me that there is definitely some things happening in the Trump household as well as the White House, okay, that they're not quite communicating well, I don't think, here. Now, I'm sure, you know, she goes on basically to say that she doesn't know Epstein, she doesn't know Giselle, even though we've seen all the emails, we've seen all the photos of all of them together, you know what I mean? She does admit to that, yes, they sort of were in the same social circles. Okay, we've seen enough evidence. Now, I don't know if you have any photos that you wanna bring up to go with that, Melania.
Yeah,
there,
I only got the one just to prove that that Melania and them. This is the one that's going around the internet that says, "Yep, back in the day, they must have known each other."
Yeah, no, never met the guy. No, never seen him. Have no idea who this is. Same with Giselle. Now, if you've read the email that she wrote to Giselle, I mean, it was pretty intimate. Like, she knew this person, and she was just like, you know, praising her, just the way she was talking to her. This wasn't just a, you know, acquaintance or something like that. She talked to her like she was good friends with her. You know what I mean? Like, and now, of course, she comes out and says, "Oh, well, I never even knew this lady. I've never seen her." Okay, so this, her speech came out on Friday as well. So Donald's tweet about the reset comes out in the morning. Then her video comes out. Then, of course, the Artemis lands, and then we, I guess, can go over to the thing that I had up earlier here. The Bilderberg meeting started. And again, there wasn't a lot of notification again. I mean, this is a hush-hush kind of thing. It's once a year. They get together. These are all the bigwigs, okay, getting together, having a meeting, basically discussing what they're going to do to us in the next year, or basically whatever. Now, let's see if I can find it here and we can go over. So this is, they don't have all the names of who attended, but there was a few people, obviously, from Trump's cabinet. Not as many as in the past, to be honest. But they don't have them listed here yet because they just finished today. They all left today. So they don't have that. But maybe in the days to come, they might have a list of, because they do on the other meetings from the other years here, of who attended. So if you're interested in that, I do have a link to everything down in the description here, of course, for those who are watching. If you're listening, sorry, you know, links, you'll have to subscribe to the YouTube or whatever to go and find those. But this was the 72nd Bilderberg meeting, which took place between the 9th and the 12th of April, right in Washington, USA. And there wasn't a lot of people covering it, I noticed, because there just wasn't any notice. Nobody expected a Bilderberg meeting to be in April. Everybody's expecting it to be in the summertime. And so they snuck that in there. Dan Dix, however, though, did cover it from Press for Truth. So go and check him out. He covered the whole thing. And, you know, so thank God we got him here. But in alphabetical order. So it's not necessarily in the order that they talked about it, but in alphabetical order, these are the topics that were discussed. Okay, so you got AI, that's the first one here. Now, keep in mind it's alphabetical order, so not necessarily the hottest topic, but AI came up. We need to talk about AI, apparently. The second one is the Arctic security. That's interesting.
Greenland.
Have we not done a lot of shows about the ice wall, about Antarctica, that we think there's a lot more going on there, right? Now all of a sudden, oh, they want to increase the security there. Why is that? Go back and check out all the videos. We talked about this, okay? So this is becoming not a problem, but an issue. This is, you know, they want to amp up security. Why is that? What's going on, guys, that you haven't told us about? They also want to talk about China. Well, I bet they want to talk about China because China is going to be the next empire. I've talked about that as well. That's my prediction, that China is going to be the next empire. It just seems that's the way it's going. So no wonder that's a hot topic. The next thing is digital finance. Well, that means your digital currencies coming around the corner, guys. so fast you have no idea. I'm pretty sure it's already implemented, but they're just going over some details, I guess, in this meeting here, because these are the things that are coming up this year. Okay, digital finances that they're talking about, energy diversification,
solar and wind. You better get your solar and wind now.
Well, I don't know about solar and wind. Wind, I think, is already been ex-nate. Everybody, no, that didn't work. We can't even recycle those things and whatever. So that's gone. Solar is great, I would say, on a homestead or even on top of your van or, things like that. But as far as energy for the masses, for big productions, for, what does this mean for the oil and gas industry? That's where my thoughts were going. Energy diversification, which means we're going to diverse from what we're doing now. And what are we doing now? It's all oil and gas, right? And with the things going on in Iran right now, gas is becoming very, very expensive. It's becoming an issue. So they probably want to get away from it, because that way they're not relying on the Middle East at all for any of that. I don't know where they're going with this, but that's topic for the meeting. Okay, energy diversification, which means we're going to be going in other areas for energy. We're not just going to go with the oil and gas. So be prepared for that. Okay, they're also discussing Europe, which it's a little late now. Europe is basically done for. They've been overtaken by foreigners. They destroyed Europe. So, a little late now, but, whatever. Global trade, I guess so. I mean, that's being affected now by the war going on and oil and gas again. That's definitely in the Middle East. I guess that's something you're going to talk about. I mean, and then Russia as well. So Russia is lumped in there as well. That's kind of interesting. I wish I was a fly on the wall so I can listen to what exactly they've been talked about here, but that's going to be interesting. Transatlantic defense industrial relationships. That was a mouthful. So transatlantic, I saw a defense industrial. So I don't know. I see your imagination can go wild. Comment down below if you know what that means, what that is. Do you have any insights on any of this stuff we're talking about? Love to hear from you. Okay. They're also going to be talking about Ukraine. Of course, that's an ongoing freaking issue. I would have thought that that's over now. Like, aren't all the guys gone already? Like, come on. Are we not done down there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But they're discussing it. USA, well, I guess the empire is about to fall. So I guess you got to talk about it. I certainly hope so. Future or warfare. Yeah. I wonder what that's going. And the West, which is also going down. USA, the West, Europe, we're all.
Well, the last 5 of them there, you can really lump together with that transatlantic defense industrial relationship. Somebody's got to be building the tanks and the planes and the jets and like most of those countries buy our old planes. They buy that stuff, the F-22s, the F-16s. That's what they're fighting with, and we keep the best of the best for us. Again, Ukraine, we keep throwing stuff at them, and then of course you got the future warfare, which we found out that it's not about what high-tech missiles you can have, the golden domes or the iron domes. When somebody can take a $200 drone or a $2,000 drone and fly masses and masses of them with small munitions mounted on them and take out your city or your buildings, because they just hit randomly with pilots that are miles and miles away. And that's the future. It's really hard to fight masses, they said. Whereas before, they have those missile things that you see the missile come up and they can destroy one missile, but they can't destroy a mass, a flock, or whatever you want to call it. That's the new warfare. And robots, automated AI, AI running the war. I just watched a video the other day where it was talking about the guy who invents AI. The best AI is going to win the war because it can plot tens of thousands scenarios at a time and tell you which move to make fastest and the best without, because humans have error. to what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There's so much going on. But before I continue on with the Bilderberg, I want to talk a little bit more about it. Before we get there, I do have some exciting news to tell you guys about, okay? First of all, we do have some new merch in store. I'm sure you've probably seen it already. We got the new logo here. I guess I can try and show it to you here. Lock the doors. We're flying over Earth. This is the latest logo that I have designed, and I have it in every clothing that you can think of, between the tank tops for men and women, long sleeve, hoodie, and a t-shirt, of course. And as well as we have, the other logo that I made as well. But also what's new is the headwear. So I got 4 different styles here. We got the classic snapback, your cuffed beanie, the classic dad hat, and the bucket hat that Robert will be getting shortly, hopefully here, and be able to show it off for us to what exactly it looks like. They had to modify the logo just slightly from what I did here in order for them to do it, because it's in embroidered. It's not a stick on or press on or anything like that. It's actually embroidered. So I can't wait to see what it actually looks like. But this is brand new in store right now. Okay. Now, the exciting news that we got going on, let's see if I can just, is that starting tomorrow, I'm going to have a giveaway. Okay. A huge giveaway, biggest giveaway that I've had yet to date. And the video for it is dropping tomorrow morning. Okay. And in the video, I'll explain, and especially if you go into the description of the video, we'll explain how you can receive 5 free entries. Okay. So there's 5 ways of getting entries. And if you do them all, you can have 5 free entries into the draw. Okay. I'll be writing them down, placing them in the crystal skull bowl. You'll see everything. I'll tell you everything about it in the video that drops tomorrow. Okay. However, with the merch, so what I got going on with the merch is, if you buy any merch between now, so starting tonight with the merch, if you do it right now, okay, buy any merch between now and the 26th, you will get 10 entries per purchase. So if you do multiple purchases throughout the next couple of weeks, you will get 10 entries per purchase. Okay, in addition to your 5 for free. So really excited about that. The videos are dropping. They will be up on YouTube, of course. They will be up on Rumble, Substack, and where else did I put them? I can't remember now. I got so many platforms going on, but it'll all be in the video tomorrow morning. So just check your email tomorrow morning. The Substack will for sure be right in your email, right? Or go and check your YouTube notifications or wherever it is that you get notified, and just listen to the video and then go into the description of every single video, and you'll see exactly what to do. Now, the other thing I did today as well is I went and got ourselves a X account. So Beyond Truth is now on X, and I'm also going to be posting up shorts there like I do on the other things. So go and follow me over on X, okay? For those who are on my email list, you'll get all this in the email tomorrow as well, to remind you about the contest, to remind you about the X, and all that good stuff. So yeah, go and check that out. It's pinned in the chat right now if you would like to go and check out the store while we're talking. If not, you'll find links to the store and all the other things in the description of every single video. If you are listening to this, you'll have to go over to one of those platforms in order to get part of the contest. I'm up on Facebook. That's another place. I think I didn't say Facebook is also another one where you can go. The video will be posted up there as well. Okay, so all the links are down below, guys, if you want to go and follow, and make sure that you don't miss out on an entry tomorrow. But yes, is this the one? I can't even tell now. Yes, this is the Bilderberg.
Yeah, this is one you're on.
Yeah, so I just want to tell you guys a little, for those who don't know, okay, Bilderberg was founded in 1954. So before I even start reading about all of this, I was meditating in the bath earlier today, okay? Now, everything seems to happen in the 40s. Something happened in the 40s. Now you can say, okay, maybe it was the Eisenhower thing. Eisenhower apparently sold us out to the ETs in exchange for technology. They said, okay, you can experiment on people. Well, apparently, these sightings and all these crazy stuff that's been happening has been around since the 40s. It wasn't really talked about before then. So that kind of gives us a little bit of evidence to the whole Eisenhower thing. Now, was there more to it than just that? Did something else happen? Exactly what happened, I don't know, obviously. Well, there were some kind of agreements. The war was never won. Right? They just agreed it was over. All the scientists from Nazi Germany or whatever, they all went over to Americas. Everything that's founded over in America is all basically founded on their concepts. Okay. And it seems like it was the beginning of the end. Also in 1948, Israel became a nation. And that was basically from the script that they told us 2,000 years ago, which is, we call it scripture. Well, it's a script. Okay, scripture is a script. And in that script, they told us about the end times. And I do believe they started it in 1948. And this generation shall not perish, which means but 80 years. And that's exactly where we are right now. Okay, from the beginning of all of this. And so, of course, they founded this Bilderberg group in 1954. So 40s and 50s is where everything got sort of established. And I do believe they had, probably in the first Bilderberg meeting they had an agreement saying that we're going to take down the West, we're going to take down America. It all has to happen within 80 years. That's all you have. Just enough time that everybody that was around that time won't be here anymore, right? So you don't have any more whistleblowers or any. I was just thinking like the lady who's dictating everything, who's typing everything, all of those ladies, they're in the know, you know what I mean? Because they were there typing and listening and all this kind of stuff. Well, they're gone now. It's been a long enough time that all those people are gone. And so there's no evidence of any of the things that I'm talking about here. This is just my theory, okay? So this was one of the things that they started with in 1954. The Bilderberg meeting is an annual conference designed to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. Every year, between 120 and 140 political leaders and experts from industry, finance, economy, and media are invited to take part in the meeting. About 2/3 of the participants come from Europe and the rest are from North America. Approximately a quarter from politics and government, and the rest are from other fields. So these are all the big wigs from all the different places, okay? So like Kushner and a bunch of these people that you hear, in America, they were there a few years ago. They weren't here on this year, but they were there in 19 and 17 and, so they were there building up all the stuff that we just went through. They were there for that. They were there to decide all of that. Okay, just to get a little context there. All right, the Bilderberg meeting is a forum for informal discussions about major issues. The meetings are held under the Chatham House rule, Chatham, whatever that is, Chatham House rules. This state the participants are free to use the information received, but neither the identity nor the affiliation of the speakers nor any other participant may be revealed, because it's very, very secret, people. Okay, can't talk about this to the regular people. Thanks to the private nature of the meeting, the participant takes part in individuals rather than any official capacity. And hence are not bound by the conventions of their office or pre-agreed positions. As such, they can take time to listen, reflect, and gather insight. There is no detailed agenda, no resolution are proposed, no votes are taken, and no policy statements are issued. Right. Well, I do believe they're just laying down the law. They're telling these guys, okay, ahead of time that, hey, this is what we got planned. This is what we like to do. And so if you can do this over here, you do this over here, a little bit over here, that agenda is all going to come together if we all do our little puzzle pieces. You know what I mean? That's kind of what that whole meeting is all about. And so, yeah, what do you have to say about that, Robert?
Well, this thing has been going on a long time, and somebody said, or Bonnie said something, not Putin. I was thinking, yeah, not Putin, not Trump. It's usually for people who are in the background controlling these guys or their representatives that go to this. Yes, it's notable people that we know, but or we kind of know. But the thing is that the big guy himself is not going to go. The leader of the country is not going to show up there, because then everybody would know what's going on, and they would say, "Where's Trump going?" And then the cat's out of the bag. There'd be a billion reporters there wondering what he's doing. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
yeah, so they go there as a private citizen and not as an official capacity, so that there's no hoopla around it. I get it.
Yeah. Because this thing is, that Bilderberg thing is so secret. You know, people who work there have to sign non-disclosure agreements. They have to be screened. They get checked coming in and out, making sure they don't have any electronical recording equipment. They're ushered in private cars from the airport to the thing and back and forth, because avoiding reporters, it's kept in a secret fenced off area. There's a lot of security everywhere you go there. And the fact that we even know about this thing is just amazing.
Yeah, so Dan Dix, like I said, from Press for Truth, was there and covered all that kind of stuff. And he's been doing that for all these years. I've been watching him for 10, 15 years now, going to these things. And it's so hilarious because he'll go and confront, like last year he confronted Teal, of all people, and it was so funny. Like, I'd never seen a guy walk so fast. Of course they don't answer any of the questions, but just to rattle him up and just to let him know that, hey, we don't agree with this, and we know about that, and whatever, just to rattle them a little bit, you know what I mean? So good for those who do go down there to do that, to cover these things. Yep. And he brought it to my attention that, hey, this is going on, because I was not expecting this now, and this all happened this weekend. It just finished. So
that is so true. Now, he is not part of the mainstream media. I'm going somewhere with this, right?
Yes. No, he's alternative media. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
You're not
that's right. And it just tells you that the mainstream media, one of the biggest events out there, is not reporting on this. The Fox News isn't down there. ABC, NBC, CBS, MSN. None of those places are reporting, the big papers. It just tells you who owns what, and that's the whole point. Is the big wigs that own that stuff are going, and they're telling their people, you don't see this, you don't report on it, it's not going to make the paper. That's it. So since it's not in any of those papers, news articles, or anything like that, it just tells me that we need more independent researchers like this guy.
I don't know if
we're not getting the news. We're just not getting it.
Yeah, well, if you have been watching and following a lot of the alternative media out there, there's so many reporters getting killed on the daily. Almost every day, they're getting killed. And so I don't blame reporters for not wanting to do it. Honestly, anybody, it's not safe. Like, it's scary out there. Now, somebody's mentioning Obama. Yes, Obama's been to those meetings before. He wasn't invited this year. He's getting too old now. There's new people now, right? So, those guys are all had their time. But Obama's been there. All of these people. Musk, I think, has been there one year. All these people.
You know why Obama ain't there this year? Is because it's not coming up on an election year. If Obama did attend, say, in 2 years or next year maybe, he attends, that tells you that they're going to try to push to get a Democrat into office, because he is going to be there. You see where I'm going with this? They're going to have people there for their agenda coming up. What are we planning for this year? Well, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Who do we need here to tell them what to do, to enlist them in our quest?
So USA is one of the topics, as well as the West, as well as Europe, like I just said earlier. And there wasn't a lot of people from the States. There was a couple, 3 of the guys, right? But there wasn't a lot of the big wigs that we would think, right? So what does that tell you? we know, we've talked about this before, that the U.S. empire is going down. And so there's not going to be a lot probably of them being there represented. So, but it's just weird that all of this happened this weekend, so President Trump is coming out saying this huge reset on the day that the Bilderberg meeting starts. So he must be in the know. He knows something financial, I think, too. So we've talked about this. We've speculated about this for years now, about, the whole financial collapse. I know a lot of us are getting burnt out. We're just getting so sick of hearing it because it takes forever. It's like, just get it over with already. You know what I mean? So I know probably people listening to this are like, oh God, here she goes again about this. No, it never happens, and I'm getting kind of like that too. We're getting a little over it, but I think it's happening now. I think this is it. I mean, with that post about, a reset, Melania's coming out doing huge damage control for herself, going outside of her husband's knowledge, from what I can see. And then the meeting is being pushed early, So I don't know, guys, but I feel like things are getting rushed, they're getting pushed, moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, I think things are going to be happening here this year for sure. Yeah, that's my prediction. Now, you guys leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you think, good or bad. It's all good. It all helps the algos. I don't care. And but next week we actually have a guest with us live for a change. We don't usually have guests on live. Usually they're pre-recorded, but we have Dr. Turi. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Go and check him out, Dr. Turi, because he will be on live with us next Sunday. Okay, 6 o'clock Pacific time zone, right here at Beyond Truth on YouTube. And then, of course, I upload it to all the other platforms on Monday. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Make sure you subscribe, okay, and hit the like, share this out, and leave us some comments. We love to hear from you. Do you have if anybody has any questions, put them in there now. We'll talk about it while we're here live. If not, you can put them in the comments, and we can always maybe do another show later. If we get a lot of the same sort of questions and whatnot, we might do another show. But yeah, I'm going to check the chat here. Do you have any last minute things, Robert, that you want to talk about?
Things are happening fast, so we have to pay attention. That's pretty much all I can think of, is that it seems every day I get up, and yes, you can get burnt out so fast. And maybe that's why they're putting up all this other stuff like Melania and the moon mission, and who knows, a half a dozen other things. I hear that comet is coming back. The Atlas, or was it the one that came just a while ago? It turned around, it's coming back. And they're already starting.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
Atlas. It's supposed to be coming back, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, here we go again. Something to take our attention off of the war, the things, isn't it
funny how the whole Epstein file thing, right? I mean, even Musk left the administration and said Trump's all over the Epstein files, and that's one of the reasons why Musk left. Okay, just so you know. And now when the Epstein files did come out, like a year later, it took a while. That's the thing. Everything takes a while. So whatever they're saying now will come to fruition. You'll see it in a few months. That's the thing. And sure enough, he's in there like crazy, and Melania knows, she knows everything. Obviously, she was there from the beginning. The both of them are in there. And so what does he do? Oh, well, not only does he gaslight it and just write it off, but, look over here, we're going to bomb Iran now, right? So they start the war, and now all of a sudden it's just everybody's busy with that. And then we got the moon thing, and then we got this, and we got that. And yeah, so these are all distractions so that we don't actually start digging into the Epstein files too much, because the whole house of cards will crumble if we do, and they know it. And that might be why they're all scrambling now, and doing meeting early and all this. They know what's coming. And so I would say just buckle up, everybody. Stay tuned. Pop that popcorn, because the show is just about to start. So, yeah, with that, Yeah, we're going to bounce too, Bonnie. Thank you all for watching. Whether you're here live or you're watching the replay, I thank you so much for your time and attention. Make sure that you hit that like, though, if you don't mind sharing it out. And then stay tuned. Like I said, for next week, we got Dr. Turi with us. And we got a bunch of other great shows coming up for you guys. So make sure you're subscribed. Stay tuned, and best of luck to everybody during the giveaway that starts tomorrow. If you want to do merch, you can get the 10 entries tonight, but for the next 2 weeks, any merch purchase will give you 10 entries, but there's 5 ways of getting free entries as well. So best of luck to everybody there, and we'll see you guys in the next one, everybody. Bye.